Hello guys, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Today I'm working on rolling some stainless steel. This is 14 gauge stainless steel. I'm making a donut. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna have to roll this stainless to wrap around this donut, so it'll be, the outer skin that you'll see around the outer perimeter. Now, normally when I roll this stainless steel or Cor-Ten or mild steel, aluminum, whatever it is, I'll use the English wheel. I don't have a slip roller yet. I'm kind of thinking about getting one, but I haven't bought one yet. So I use my slip roller, and sometimes I'll use a pipe, just a regular pipe. This pipe is, what is it? Let me see what the diameter of this pipe is. I mean, it could be any pipe, but this is a 6-inch diameter pipe. Probably an 1/8 wall, something like that. Nothing special, because you're not going to put that much force on it. But what I'm going to do is to show you guys how I use a pipe sometime to roll, metal. Because sometimes if I'm using my English wheel and the piece is too long, it's just difficult sometimes rolling with the English wheel because it wants to wrap around the body of the English wheel. And it's just hard sometimes getting it in there. So sometimes I'll just use a pipe. And sometimes if I want a smaller diameter roll, I'll use a pipe. Because my English wheel, that's probably a good 8-inch diameter, which is fine. But the way the English wheels, the frame of it is there, so it gets in the way of me doing a complete roll sometime on a longer piece. So what I want to do is just show you guys how I use a pipe, to make the bend. Nothing special. But now if this stainless, was not going to be, ground down and putting designs and stuff in it, I would take, and I want to keep a really smooth finish, I would take like a t-shirt or a towel or something and wrap around this pipe so that it won't mar the stainless. And if I was like for this piece, it's going to be just a straight, bend, straight circle. But if I was doing something that's going to be kind of curvy, and I will be wrapping it like from one end and rolling it more this way, I'll get a pipe that has really smooth edges, because I don't want those edges digging into the stainless or whatever the metal material you're going to be using. But this pipe has rough edges because I'm not concerned about the edges. I'm more concerned about the center portion of it. So let me just show you guys how it's kind of set up here, or what I'm using. So I'm using this pipe. And when I was bending, it was probably 11 gauge, more of a thinner strip of 11 gauge. Before, I used this 1/4 inch diamond plate. It's about 1 1/4 inch, wide, because I cut some other pieces off of it, and this is what was left. So I used this to slide inside of the pipe. And I had my stainless or my whatever metal I was using, it was already underneath here. And I'll take my clamps and clamp this piece of diamond plate down, and that would hold the tube in place, and it wouldn't move when I was trying to bend the metal. But what can happen with that is now it's warped from the stress of me trying to bend 11 gauge using a pipe with this. So what I found is it's better if you can use a square tube. You know, this wall is probably a 3/16 wall, and this is stainless. It doesn't have to be stainless, but this piece is just stainless because I'm not going to do any like damage to it. I can still use it after I do this, but I find it better to use a square tube. Maybe like I said, 3/16, 1/4 inch wall, something like that. 1/8 inch wall might be not strong enough or sturdy enough, so I'll go with something a little bit thicker. And so when I put this in between the pipe, I'm not concerned about when I put stress on the pipe to bend the metal. I'm not concerned about this bending or warping because it's just designed more sturdy than just a flat piece of 1/4 inch diamond plate. Whether it's diamond plate or just 1/4 inch, just a flat piece of 1/4 inch. It could be 5/16. 5/16 might hold up better than the 1/4 inch, but I just found it's better to just go with a square tube. All right, so let me get this thing set up so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, guys, this is how this is set up. So I have my stainless on the table here. I have my tube or pipe here. I have this square tube going through the pipe, and then I have it locked down with these clamps. And if you don't have this type of table, just get a pipe long enough to go to the edge of your whatever table you have, so you can clamp that square tube down to your table, whatever you're using to work with. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that strong unless you're using like 11 gauge or something like that. Then you just need to tighten it down more so this tube won't move, because this is locked down pretty good. I mean, it can move. I can lock it down more, but I don't know if it's necessary. So I have the front edge of this stainless piece underneath here. And all they have to do is just take it and just start rolling it up. And it depends on how tight you want your roll to be. But with this, I don't want it to be too tight because I'll be wrapping it around this donut. Now what I'll do is I'll loosen it up a little bit. Take the stainless, slide it under a little bit more. Take the pipe. And take the square tube, and put it back in position, and roll this a little bit more. And that can happen if you don't have your clamp right in the center of the square tube or whatever it is you're using, because I will want to move a little bit, which is fine. So what you do is just grab it, make your adjustments, and keep going. And what you have to be careful of is you want to make sure this is going straight in and it's not on an angle. If it's on a slight angle, when you finish your roll, your two ends won't meet up, because one will be to the left, one will be slightly to the right. So just keep this as going in as straight as you can as you're rolling. I'm just locking it down a little bit tighter. And I just gotta keep remembering that this is not gonna be a tight roll. It's gonna be pretty loose. Okay, so there. And this is not as fast as using my English wheel. because with the English wheel, I'll bend it a little bit and I'll roll it forward, bend it, just keep sliding it through. But with this, you just have to adjust your clamps. Slide it through a little bit more. And just tighten everything down. And I could have used a larger diameter pipe, but if you don't have large diameter pipe, you can use a smaller one. You just try not to put as much roll into the material. But if I was using a 12, 14 inch diameter tube, then I will make my roll with the metal tighter to the pipe. So you just keep making small adjustments and you keep rolling it. So it's a little bit at a time, guys. And I just tighten it down. Bend the metal, loosen it, bend the metal, tighten it back down again. Just keep going. And when I'm bending it, I'm not going right at the pipe. I'm keeping a little bit of space in there because I don't want, like I said, I don't want this roll to be too tight. So I'll get it to a point. There's still room in here for my hand to go in there. And that just means I'm not just getting right up to that pipe. And this really works well if you have a 6 or 7 foot piece of material that you need to put a roll on. It works well with that, for something like that. Because doing something like that with the English wheel, it will just be too much. Trying to hold the metal, slide it through the English wheel, keeping it from hitting the frame of the English wheel. So this just it can be easier at times. And if you feel your pipe moving as you're bending, just tighten your clamps down a little bit more. And the thing with using the pipe is sometimes it's best to use more material than what you actually need, because sometimes you can't get in there to make that last bend. It just depends on how long your piece is or what you're doing with the piece. So just say if I couldn't get in there to bend this last little bit, if I made this piece longer than what I needed, it wouldn't matter because I've already bent what I need to, or bent what I need to bend. So what I'm gonna do now is just take this out. As you can see, it's rolling. So now I just got to get this side. So I'm gonna put this side in on this side now. Then come over here. Clamp it down. Make sure it's in there fairly straight. And go ahead and make the bend. And with this, I can just kind of pull this up off the table, because once the bend is in there, the metal remembers that bend. Then you just take it, roll it up. I think I have one more spot I'm gonna go to. Slide under a little bit more. And you guys, if you decide to do this, you can make more of like a permanent thing where you can just, maybe get a pipe, or even make different sizes of this. Maybe a 14-inch pipe, a 12-inch, 6-inch, whatever, and just have it just already made, so you can just put it on your table. And you can even, if you're going to go more like a permanent type fixture, even have it where, just say you have this pipe welded to this square tube, you can weld it in down in there, and you can even have this not completely on the piece of metal. You can have it, raised up maybe 1/8 of an inch off this piece, so you can just slide this piece under it as you're bending. You just slide it as you go. That'll be easier and it'll be faster than doing like this. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what I do, in a situation like this. I haven't made, just jigs or fixtures or jigs, however you want to say it, like this, because I use my English wheel more than I use this. Like I said, this is when I'm doing like a larger sculpture and I have a long piece, I can just do it on here, feed it through or feed it under the table, and just keep rolling it. So I don't need to necessarily do anything permanent. And I guess it's not, it'd be permanent. So you just get some rod, get different size pipes. You can weld your rod to the bottom of the pipe. Maybe have some adjusters where you can raise this up and down, so that pipe will come up and down off of your metal, depending on the thickness of your metal. It'll be faster than having to adjust your clamp each time you do it. All right, got one more spot, I think. Right there. Just do it, look at it, see how it looks, and roll it until you're satisfied. And what you can do with those last final bends, I take my hand, put it here, and put it inside the pipe, just to get some leverage. See how it looks. Make your final little adjustments. There's one little area, kind of a flat area, just slightly flat right through here. I'm gonna put it back in and just bend that just a little bit more, not much. Okay, I think it's right here. So what I'll do is I'll put that kind of under the pipe. And just keep working with it. It won't take too long, and once you get your system set up, it won't take you long at all. And all I want to do is see that pipe rolling a little bit. I don't want to see it get flat, or I don't want to see that roll get too tight to the pipe, just because of what the diameter of what I'm doing. You got one more spot, and if you roll it too tight, you can always take your metal and bend it back out, reshape it a little bit. I'm gonna hit this one last spot. I think I'll be okay. All right, so just kind of unroll it in those few spots here. Not too bad. And what you have to remember is when you put it on the donut, you'll be taking your clamps, clamping it tight to the donut, tacking it all the way around. And all this right here, all this metal right here will give. As you can see, it sucks up pretty tight. It sucks up pretty tight to whatever you're making. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get the metal, like I said, to roll. And like this, it's a little bit straighter in here. That's going to be cut off anyway, so I'm not concerned about that. And when you put it on if you're making a circle or something like that, like I say, you clamp it down. All of this is going to form to your metal anyway. So like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's how you bend metal, whether it's stainless steel, core tin, mild, it doesn't matter. That's how you can do it on a pipe. Like I say, though, you just put it on your piece, get your clamps, just clamp it down, and just start tacking it. And it'll form right to your piece. Just use your clamps, like I said, clamp it in a couple spots, tack it, clamp it, tack it, until you get it all clamped up and tacked up. And like I said, it doesn't come out as smooth initially as the English wheel, but this is just an alternative to an English wheel or a slip roller. And like I said, with this piece, the more flat piece, it's going to be cut off anyway, so I'm not concerned about that at all. And if I need to roll it more, I just put it back in my pipe and roll a little bit more. But with this gauge, it won't be necessary because the clamps will just pull it right to the outer perimeter of this, and I'll just tack it on. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this one. And I hope to see you on the next one. I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but I'll be making something, maybe even welding up some of the donuts or whatever else I'm doing. But like I said, I hope to see you on the next one. And that's how I shape metal with a pipe, a square tube, and some clamps. All right, guys, so I'll see you on the next one. And as usual, peace out.